And we're live.
Well, wake up smart, start your day right. AM Morning Club, your business takes flight. Tools, tips, trends, all free, no fluff. 30 minutes daily, that's more than enough.
Good morning, everyone.
AI pros, plug in, level up, and watch
Hi,
your
Ron.
biz grow.
Hello, Kaylin. Hi, Brian. Hi, Marie. Hello, Zach. Hi, Shamari. Hello, Robert. Hi, Mark. We're just letting everyone in, making sure everyone's in. Hi, Robert. Hi, Mark. Hello, Kathy. Good morning, Andy. Hi, Leon. Hello, Leonardo.
AI Morning Club, log on and win the day. AI Morning Club, log on and win the day. Oh, wake up smart, start your day right.
AI Morning Club, your business takes flight.
Tools, tips, trends, all free, no fluff.
30 minutes daily, that's more than enough.
From therapy to guest AI pros, plug in, level up, and watch your biz grow. AI Morning.
Good morning, AR Morning Club. Good morning, Ignite fam and Launchpad fam, and all you brilliant early risers. Happy Monday. It feels good to be back with all of you. We are kicking off week 21 together, and there is no better way to start a week because it is Monday. We have the one and only man who has done it all, the man who is always way ahead of the curve, the illustrious Mr. Perry Belcher with us today. Get ready for fresh strategies, clear thinking, and the kind of momentum that sets the tone for everything we build this week. If you are watching from any of Perry's social pages and you want to join us live, you can hop in at armorningclub.com/live. And if you want to catch the stream again, you can watch the replays from any of Perry's social pages. With that said, let us begin week 21 strong. Perry, take it away.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Everybody good, I hope. Give me a little hand or something if you're good, if you're feeling good this morning. I don't know if you're feeling good. You're up early anyway, and that's good. Early bird gets the worm, right? I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks for being here this morning. We're a little light this morning, aren't we, Tricia?
We're what?
124.
We're still light.
Yeah, it's still a little light this morning. I think people are getting close to the holidays. I understand.
So the way Ben built it,
Hold on.
that once an inbound comes in, you can build that inbound right then. Randy receives it, I can build it.
You got it?
An
Trish?
outbound ships, I can build that outbound
Hold on.
right then.
I don't
Oops. Sorry, I still unmute.
There, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. So before I get started, I'll do a little housekeeping, and then if anybody's got anything, any wins, something giant that you learned in the last week, something you want to share with the group that you think will help the whole group, just raise your hand and we'll get you up. I'd like to hear from Neff. I saw that Neff, you were at somewhere this week. It looked like you were learning some cool new stuff, so I wouldn't mind hearing what you got going on. But if anybody else has any brilliant ideas or big wins, let me know. If you haven't gotten booked into AI Bot Summit yet, for those of you that are in Ignite, that's free to you. Now, that being said, the room block is just about full. If you wait, you're going to end up paying a lot more for your room. It doesn't cost you anything to go, and we got the room rates at like $139. They're dirt cheap for the hotel. But they'll go up to $200 or $300 a night if you don't book soon with the room block. And they're going to close that room block here in, I think, just a couple of days, because we're probably 2 weeks out. I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks out, they close the room block up. So if you're going to AI Morning Club, you need to book your room and get your butts there. If you don't know what an AI Morning Club is and you're not part of Ignite, you can go to aimorningclub.com and buy a ticket. But it's going to be, I think this year, I'm always nervous that the year's not going to be good enough. This year, I don't have any doubt at all that it is. Every year, I'm always nervous. Is it going to be good enough? Is it sharp enough? Is it far enough ahead? We've got so many guest speakers that have never been there before. It's the people that we've, dug out from under the woodwork that are doing really, really big things. I think you guys are going to be shocked with the outcomes. And we don't have very many speakers. We've cut the speakers back and gave them longer to talk. So we want to make sure they get to the point and can demo what they're doing and then can take questions after each session. So it's going to be a little bit different this year. but I think it's going to be absolutely unbelievable. And that's January 5th, 6th, and 7th. I hope you guys can be there. Um, all Neff was doing was staying up all night drinking. There you go. How do you know? um,
because I was
the
there with
May,
them.
yeah, right. The May cruise is coming up. That will be in May. If you want more information about going on the Ignite cruise with us, or we're calling it's the growth hacking cruise this year. So we're going to have growth hacking people on there, Ignite people in their own roped off section, and driven people in their own roped off section. So we're going to double or triple the amount of people going on the cruise this year. And if you've been on a cruise before, you know that the cruises are freaking awesome. So that's May. Again, it doesn't cost anything other than your cruise ticket to go if you're an Ignite member. If you're not an Ignite member, there's a small charge, but it's not much. So if you, well, I say not much, it's $500. But if you're an Ignite member, you don't pay that. If you're a Driven member, you don't pay that. But the cruises are a week at sea with all of us talking about AI and working on each other's businesses. And there's nothing more fun. Um, that being said, I'll open up the floor. Neff, you got anything? Tell us something good, buddy.
Yeah, two things. First, I did a post inside Ignite last night. Trish, thanks for letting that come through pretty quick. Our Key West bars page got fully monetized. Um, yesterday, Saturday night, when in Boise, Idaho, for this event we was at, and the phone call came in. My daughter was so excited because honestly, um, I didn't write one post in that page. I gave the system that we did 2 weeks ago that I showed you guys, and my daughter wrote every single post, followed the program, did it. Over 50,000 followers on the page, got fully monetized by Facebook, almost 40 million views year to date already. And that started in August, or I'm sorry, April. I showed a screenshot. I mean, it was dead. That was me just posting once here and there. And then all of a sudden she started posting and then skyrocket. So 7 months, she got fully monetized. So I'm so proud of her. But again, I didn't do it one post inside there. Kind of cool. So,
That's amazing. That's amazing. What kind
but
of event were you at this past
we
week?
was at Austin Armstrong had a vibe coding event that was just a vibe coding workshop,
Yeah,
and so the best part of that workshop, I think, number one was the community
I
that
like
was there. There's a
Austin.
bunch of people just working back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
I liked how it was laid out because it was a little bit of teaching, 2 hours of vibe coding, back to teaching, step by step, all the way through it. And even had developers there to help you implement and put the program in place. Probably about 40 people there. That was at the live event. There was a few in the Zoom, and in my all honesty, I wouldn't have went to the Zoom because it was so hard to follow along. I think it would be hard to follow along in the Zoom, and you lost out on the community aspect of vibe coding with everyone else and helping each
Hmm.
other through their projects wherever they were at the time. And that community is really big for me. I really enjoy that part of it. But it went from like 9 to 5, 3 days in a row. But then we
Oh,
went back to
nice.
the hotel and we took over the Marriott. I mean, the whole Marriott bar area was vibe coding till 11 o'clock every night. So it was awesome. So.
Well, hopefully y'all were friends don't let friends vibe drunk.
Well, I
They
don't know.
get
We
drunk and
create some
vibe with
weird
them.
stuff.
They
So,
they get drunk and vibe with them, right? All right.
yeah,
Cool.
definitely. It was fun, though. It was a great event. So, I learned a lot.
Thanks, man. Thanks for popping up. Um,
Yep.
so what I want to talk to you guys about real quick this morning. This is my worst week of the year. Those next 2 weeks. These are my two worst weeks of the year. Number one, I don't like taking a lot of time off for holidays because I'm a workaholic. I enjoy working. But I like the holidays, but I still don't like taking the time off, right? So that everything slows down, less gets done. Everybody's traveling, everybody wants time off, and they should have it. They need time off. So it's a relatively low productive time of the year. But more importantly, for me, it's the time of year that I evaluate what I've done in the previous year and then plan what I'm going to do in the next year. And I'm always mad. I have a total inability to be satisfied with what I've done in a previous year. I'm pretty sure I just can't, right? So I've been critiquing a lot of what didn't I do last year that I should have done? And how can I make this 2026 the biggest earning year of my life? And I absolutely firmly believe that this coming year will be the largest earning year I've ever had. And I've had some big earning years. Things are just kind of coming together. And a lot of it comes down to planning. So much of it comes down to planning and evaluation. In the past, I've been in business long enough now. I can tell you a couple of odd things, and one of them sounds political, but it's not political. But I'll tell you a couple odd things that I've learned. One, every time I've been wildly successful, it's been because I had a partner. Number one, I had a partner that was an operator. I could go be creative and they could operate. That was one. If I have to operate, I can't be operational and creative at the same time. So that was number one. Now that's just me. That doesn't mean that's you. Number two for me, I was riding a trend. I got into something that had a high trend. The trend was in my favor. I had a wind to my back. I got into the internet in 1998. I got into internet marketing in 1998. I got into digital education in 2008. I got into AI in 2018. So these things that have propelled me forward with the greatest levels of success in my life, I got into specialty retail in 2000, right? There wasn't such thing. Specialty retail means like kiosks and carts in malls, and they didn't exist. And I kind of helped to pioneer that industry and wrote it. And those are the big, importing was good for me, manufacturing was good for me of Bath and Body products right after Bath and Body Works came out. So I was making knockoff Bath and Body Works products and selling them to everybody else. So I've ridden these trends, right? And there's nothing. My buddy said one time, it's better to be lucky than it is to be smart. But there's luck, and in the past, a lot of what I've done has been luck. It's been like I kind of read the tea leaves, and I sort of figured, what was going to be good and what wasn't going to be good. And I didn't really have the ability to research. Not really. I had the ability to research some. I had to go talk to people. I had to call people. I had to dig through magazine articles. I had to read newspapers. I had to do all kinds of stuff. And today, that's different. It's completely different. It couldn't be more different. So I did something really, really cool this year that I would suggest that you all do. So I'm going to give you a couple of instructions, and then we're going to go over to something. Number one, who here has a lot of domain names? Anybody have a lot of domain names? I have 1,278, by the way. I'm going to have a tool for you guys to monetize your dead domain names coming up in January, and it's a great tool. It's a great tool. It's be the greatest parking tool for domains in the world. It should make you, at least a couple $100 a domain a year, no matter what the domain is. Anyhow, enough to pay your hosting bill and your re-registration. But I took all 1,278 of my domains and I dropped them in a spreadsheet and dropped them into Grok, Gemini, Claude, and OpenAI. All four. And I said, look over my domain names and tell me where you see the biggest opportunities for 2026. And boy, was that eye-opening for me. Because some were exactly what I thought they would be, and some greatly outranked the stuff that I had that I paid a lot more money for. And I would say, well, I don't understand that. Why is that so valuable? And then AI would give me a whole business model on it and explain why it was so valuable moving into the next year. It was a great exercise. It was a great exercise. Secondly, I started really digging into what's called a CAGR, a combined annual growth rate study. And I'll go over real quick and share screen with you. I requested that, Trish.
You should be good to share.
Okay. And if you go here, right? So, what are the fastest growing CAGR markets for 2026? What CAGR means is combined annual growth rate. That means that that industry is growing at an alarmingly high rate. Anything over single digits is good. Anything over single digits is good. If you're an industry that's growing 10% a year by itself, in order for you to get 10% growth, you just have to put your foot in that water and be average. That's it. Just put your foot in the water and be average. You'll grow 10% a year. Let me tell you, that one strategy I just told you could completely change your life. It could completely change your life. Because like when I got into internet and when I got in the internet marketing space in 1998, it was growing at almost 100% a year. And I just printed money. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no strategies. I was dumb as a brick. And I went from nothing to $10 million a year in 10 months. Nothing to $10 million a year in 10 months. But when markets come back into equilibrium, the value, so like for instance, when the first cell phone came out and all these people wanted cell phones and there was one cell phone available, that cell phone could sell for a lot of money, and they got 2 years behind in the production of the cell phones. They couldn't possibly keep up. But over time, as more cell phones came in the market to meet demand, the markets fall into what's called equilibrium. There's an equal amount of supply and demand. When that happens, the profitability in that particular business is usually, it's not over, but it's usually reserved for innovators who innovate that business or for giant funded corporations that can be more efficient because of capital reserves, right? So the industries always consolidate. Think about how many cell phone companies there were, and now there's AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, and that's about it. There's three, and that's always true. When the railroads came to be, back in the years of the railroads, there were over 300 railroad companies when rail became popular. At the end, there were three. There were hundreds of search engines. At the end, there were three, and barely three, right? So as you see these AI tools come up and all these things happen, there right now is an expansion. So there's an expansion, a contraction, and a consolidation. So what you want to do if you're a small business person like me, and I say small business person being anybody doing under $50 million a year in a particular business is a small business. You want to find these emerging markets and lock onto them. I was on a call a few months ago with Y Combinator. If you don't know who they are, Y Combinator is the most successful incubator in the world. So they incubated some little companies like Uber and Slack, and they've had the greatest success record at incubating technology companies in the world. And they have 20,000 people a year apply to be a Y Combinator company, and they usually fund 50. They give them a little bit of money and a place to work. 50 companies out of 20,000. But their criteria, they released it this year. They normally don't tell you what they're looking for, but they're getting so many applications now, they're trying to hone it down. And their thing was, these were the three major things. They look for other things, but the three major things are, number one, are you solving a problem for a new industry? Are you solving a new problem? Not are you solving a problem, are you solving a new problem? Because if you're solving an old problem, they already know something. You got a lot of competition. Everybody's trying to solve that old problem. So you have to have a better mousetrap. If you're trying to solve a new problem, just the fact that you have a solution at all can oftentimes be the thing that propels you all the way to the top, right? Is there defensible IP or something particularly defensible in your idea? That was number two. So is there a patent? Is there a trademark? Is there something only you can do? Is there some special recipe formula, something that you have that's difficult to knock off, right? And number three, this one is kind of a big one. It's weird. Is there a networking effect? So I didn't understand the last one. So what that means is, it's like Ignite Mastermind. It does the product get better the more people who use it? Does the product get better the more people who use it? Really interesting. So, like, there's a company called Fi right now. Does anybody use Fi? Does anybody have Fi? You know what Fitbit is, or Oura Ring? It's Fitbit for your dog. It's called Fi. And you put a dog collar on your dog, and it keeps up with all their vitals and measures how much they exercise and how much they eat and they drink and all that stuff, just like a Oura Ring does, or just like a Fitbit does. But they've got a community of people who have these things on their dogs, and now the community competes of how much did you play with your dog today? How much did you walk your dog today? How active was your dog compared to this other dog? And they've got this giant community network. They look out for each other's lost pets and things like that. That's the third leg to the stool right now. So, number one, are you solving a new problem? Number two, are you do you have something that's defensible IP, and is there a networking effect? And I think there's a fourth leg to the stool. And I think the fourth leg of the stool is, are you in a fast growing market? And if you're not in a fast growing market, everything's more difficult. If you're in a fast growing, it doesn't mean you can't make it, right? If you build a better mousetrap and you're in an okay market and you hit those other things, you're probably going to do well. But if you want a rocket ship, if you want to be on a rocket ship, you want to be in a market that's already growing quickly. So I ran this question: what are the fastest growing CAGR markets for 2026? Number one, artificial intelligence and machine learning, 39%, 28 to 39% CAGR from in the 20s and the 30s. So, but you can look here, generative AI optimization technology shows even higher CAGR at at 50+% a year. Those are the people who are selling AI implementation. Those are the people who are actually going out and helping businesses to implement AI into their businesses. You can bet one thing for sure: this will be a primary theme of AI Bot Summit. We're going to be talking about this a lot. My final talk at AI Bot Summit is called the $110 trillion market. To wrap your mind around this, what do you think the number one market in the world is? I was surprised at this. What do you think the number? Don't Google it. What do you think the number one financial market in the world is? Anybody know? Anybody got a guess? Biggest industry in the world. It's insurance. It's freaking insurance. I was sure that it was going to be oil and gas. Oil and gas is number three, number two or number three. But oil and gas supports a lot of other technologies. But oil and gas and oil and gas insurance, healthcare was huge. But all those are in the neighborhood of a $2 trillion a year market. 2 trillion a year. But there is a $110 trillion market. But there's only one. Anybody guess what that is? I'm opening the chat here, so if you guys, anybody gets it, unless that hasn't heard me talk about it, let me see. Porn. Close. Jim, for you, probably yes. Anyone? Data centers. Data centers, I'll talk about data centers if I got them in at the end. Data centers are interesting. Telehealth, robotics, energy, crypto, skin lightening cream. Yes, skin lightening cream is a $110 trillion market. Shamori, go back to school. Dating, real estate. It's none of those things. It's not even, you're not even in a neighborhood. Isn't that funny? The largest market in the world by 50 times bigger than energy, and you don't know what it is. Sourdough bread. Perfect. All right. Stop taking questions. You guys aren't going to get this one, I don't think. Well, let me explain how companies, really big companies, are thinking right now. Their competitors are no longer when you become a market leader in a market, you run out of people to compete with, so you have to compete with something. So right now, Netflix. I watched this great show the other night. Netflix. Anybody know who Netflix's biggest competitor is? Who do they see as their biggest competitor? Yes, that's right. Sleep. Netflix's biggest competitor is sleep. They're competing for you to stay awake. Facebook's biggest competitor, friends. They want you to spend more time on Facebook than you spend with your friends. The $110 trillion market is labor. $110 trillion a year is spent on labor. And it's estimated that AI will replace 30% of that over the next 36 months. And I think that's slow. If that's true, then AI will become a $30 trillion market, a $30 trillion market, the largest market in the world. So every company down to your barbershop down the street needs software automation, analytics. They're going to need robotics eventually. So we're going to talk about this a lot at AI Bot Summit. How do you position yourself in the middle of all that? Next is cybersecurity. I'm not entering that market because it's too difficult for me and too much liability. Renewable energy and climate tech, still growing at 12 to 15%. But the integration, look at this, is interesting. The market's growing at 12 to 15%, but the integration is growing at 25 to 30. So that means the technology itself is only growing in the teens, but implementing the technology is growing at 2 to 3 times that rate. What's that tell you? Every time a new technology comes out, there's many more billions made in the peripheral of the technology than in the technology itself. Think about with internet. Internet's on your refrigerator now. It's in your car. It's in your phone. Internet growth has really slowed. The internet growth itself has really, really, really slowed. But the Internet of Things still is accelerating all the time, right? So implementation, advanced automation. This is going to be robotics, 30% CAGR, but there are robotic systems going in everywhere right now. And honestly, if you learn AI, and you can learn robotic systems easier than you can learn AI. And then you tie the robotic system, you tie the AI to the robotic systems that you're designing or helping people with. And I mean, these are robots that are flipping burgers. They're robots that are building cars. They're robots that are painting cars. They're robots that are laying bricks in houses. There's all kinds of robotics coming. That's a thing. Data infrastructure and cloud services. The We're trying to work on a business right now that's on the fringe of the data center industry. And the data centers will spend $1.2 trillion in data center construction in the next 24 months. 1.2 trillion. 1.2 trillion. You can't wrap your head around these numbers. They're so freaking huge. But can you imagine? They have no budgets. They're all running this data centers are the oil wells of 20 years ago. They got to build them fast. They have no budgets. I've got a buddy of mine right now who's making it's making around $50,000 a month with 2 pickup trucks. He's got 2 dually pickup trucks, and he's in Northern Virginia, and he just runs hotshot loads for these guys that they need a thing. When they need a thing from California and they're in Virginia and they can't get it, they'll send him in a truck out there. In one case, it's really interesting. They flew him to California, bought a truck and a trailer, put the equipment they needed on the truck and trailer, had it waiting for him at the airport, and he drove it back to Virginia. Really crazy. it was worth buying a truck and trailer to get the piece of equipment. Because when these data centers are shut down, when they're waiting, one of the things, if anybody on here is really good with permits, they're paying a fortune for permit experts to help them get permitting. For every day they can't build, they lose $50 to $200,000 a day for every day they can't build. It's crazy, right? So if you can expedite permits, right? E-commerce, digital payments, and fintech, e-commerce is going to continue to grow, particularly in live e-commerce. If you're willing to get on a camera and set live like your own little personal QVC, you got companies now like Whatnot, eBay's into live selling. They put live selling inside TikTok now. They're about to put live selling inside YouTube. So there's going to be another round of e-commerce growth. Healthcare and biotech, of course, is insane if you've got something in that space. But you see the general idea. But AI machine learning is the one. And really the offshoots of that can be growing as much as 100% a year. Like voice agents. Voice agents are growing at 200 or 300% a year right now. Let's see. I'm guessing. I might be wrong. Inside the market of AI, how quickly are voice agents growing? But you can't only look at the CAGR. You also need to look at the total addressable market size. How long is this going to go for? 37 to 39, 30%, 39. Yeah, I kind of don't believe that. I think that's probably going to be higher than that in most markets. But anyway, just adding voice agents. Think of that. Just adding voice agents. 39% a year. Nothing grows at 39% a year. It's crazy, right? So I did something for you guys. I went back to my idea validator and I rebuilt it. It was always great. This was my favorite. This is most people's favorite tool. And if anybody's got an idea, we'll run it through Idea Validator real quick. So I'll show you how it works. But I'm going to share this with you. This is the brand new Idea Validator. It's only a couple of days old. There's that. And yeah, I'll go back and share the chat screen with you. But I mean, look, all I did was write that. What's the fastest growing CAGR 2026? So, but everybody wants me to send these, and then I wonder if you guys ever do a damn thing with them. Copy the link, and then I'll post that there. Who had a market? Trish, do you see somebody that has an idea they want validated?
If you have any idea validated, please type on the chat. Any idea you want validated markets? Dog treats from Jing Banks.
Okay.
Seniors
I want to start a
retired
dog treat company. It's going to want to know what's unique about your dog treats. Can they come up? Can you just bring them up, please?
Yes, I can.
What's unique about the dog treats? What's different?
Jim, what's unique about your dog treats?
They are all natural, freeze dried, single ingredient beef liver.
Okay. My treats are all natural, freeze dried beef liver, no ingredients other than the liver itself. Period. Super, super pure. What's your starter? How much money you want to make, Jim?
Let's start out with, I don't know. Let's see if we can do 250,000 first year.
Okay, this did 10,000 a month. Let me adjust that. But we'll go through this 10,000 a month thing real quick. Let's see what it looks like. Market, pain and willingness to pay. So this thing is much more detailed than the other was, right? So are they willing to pay? Dog owners already spend heavily on treats, proven category. Competition risk, red. You knew there was a lot. There's a lot of these out there.
Yep, there is.
I think you're going to have to figure out a way to differentiate better, right? Market size reachable, plenty big. It's reachable. Offer economics, margins exist, but import costs, CAC can get squeezed. Acquisition strategy, pure and natural alone just won't do it. It's not a good enough acquisition hook. Sales complexity and cycle, it's low ticket, fairly impulse, you know. So it's pretty good. It's defensibility, none. It's instantly copyable. So those are going to be the downsides to the market. So what I always try to do with this, how do we get these all to green, right? So it's going to cost you probably $15 to $25 to attract a new customer. I know you're probably going to do this on Amazon, but it's probably still going to have to be discoverable on Amazon for a while. Gross profit per bag, probably about $11.70. That sound about right?
Yeah, those are all good numbers. Yep.
Yeah. But if you can get in a hyper specific niche, like dogs with allergies
Right.
and elimination diets, you can pick dog. My sister, by the way, is paying $220 a month for cat food for a cat because of
Gotta be
that cat.
specific.
That
Yep.
cat has a certain condition, right? Instead of 100% beef liver, high value training treats that don't upset sensitive stomachs.
Perfect.
Yeah, a little more interesting. So it's telling you how to fix the problems. So let's go in here and say, how can I fix all the yellows and reds and get to green across the board? Give me your best suggestions. Yeah. Reposition your dog treats to professional grade training fuel. Your customer is not dog owners. Your customers are dog trainers, breeders, and serious owners who train daily and buy in volume. That's a smart idea right there.
That's a great idea.
If you can get the dog trainers using your stuff, they can pass that down. Before you were same SKU as 1,000 Amazon sellers. After your trainer specific fuel. If you can pull that off, Jim, and sell to the trainers, and the trainers pass it down, and then you get to do that like 8 out of 10 dentists prefer Crest.
Right.
You know, professional dog trainers use your brand. Right. I think that's really good advice.
That's good stuff.
You're competing against nobody if you're positioned correctly. Position it gets overlooked, and I would love to spend more time on it sometime, but I never have the time with you guys. But positioning is a giant deal. Paid ads is a CAC nightmare, but running ads to dog trainers, training facilities, and breeders with free samples, wholesale pricing, and their logo on the bag for a co-label option, that's a pretty interesting idea. One conversation can lock in $200 to $500 a month. Sell them to boarding facilities. You don't know any of those, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe one or two.
Yeah. What if well, think about it for a minute. Let's take something out of here, Jim. Some of the best supplement sellers in the world do private label brands for chiropractors. And they only sell them in chiropractors' offices. So what if your brand, at least initially, was only sold in grooming salons, boarding places, and by trainers? That'd be interesting. Bulk pricing $60 to $80 a 1 pound bag instead of little bitty bags. Be interesting.
That price is very high. That price is very high, by the way. It's interesting. I'm surprised it come up with that price.
For the do you know what trainers pay? Sorry.
No, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. What size put up are you selling in?
We sell 4 ounce for about $20.
So $60 to $80 for a pound is not really.
Yeah,
that's retail.
That's high retail.
So you're probably looking at $30-$40 to get really into that market. Yeah. And you can go back and ask it. You can question it. Like I can go down here and say, I like all this, but I don't think the market will bear $60 to $80 a pound to trainers. Freeze-dried liver costs them 35 to 55 a pound. Dehydrated alternatives.
Holy shit.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of good information here, right? And
Yep.
one of the things that I like to do now, um, I'll take this whole thing and I'll show you the last little thing I would do here. Now, there's a lot more I would do, by the way, but do me a favor and write up a full market plan based on this. What I'm going to do with that market plan, something I've learned, traffic estimates and conversion estimates are insanely accurate inside Gemini. And I think it's because Gemini is trained on all the Google Analytics data. So every time I've asked it for estimated conversion rates, things like that, the Gemini is insanely accurate with that. So I like to go here when this is done, and I'm going to feed this back to Gemini and ask its opinion on this plan. Where does it think it's over exaggerated, under exaggerated, et cetera, et cetera. And it gives me really good data back. And then finally, what I usually do, I'll just show you real quick. I don't think I'll be able to get to the last part because I got a call at 9 this morning. So I can say, please look over this plan created by another AI and tell me where you think there are underestimates, overestimates, reality checks, etc. Look how fast, too. Now I've got it set on the fast one. I could set it on the thinking one. It'll give me better. MOQ of 1 pound. You could sell 5 pounds for $38 a pound. Sounds more reasonable, doesn't it, Jim?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So reality check, gross profit of $12 a pound is low if but acceptable if state is low. So it's going through and giving me all the criteria. The plan is to go. It's exceptionally well thought out, grounded in realistic economics, and prioritized correctly. The only major adjustments that need to be made are managing expectations of cold outreach success, ensuring COG stability. So because you're cold up here, it's calling for you to cold outreach, and they're just saying it's overestimating the conversion rate of the cold outreach. You're going to be there. They had, I think the other estimate was like a 20% estimate. They're telling you you're going to be more than, you're probably going to get 5 to 10% reply for free samples, basically, and 2 to 5% conversion of them. So it brings things down to earth for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a workable number. Those are
Yeah.
definitely workable numbers.
And then I would normally take this and grab it one more time, and I go to Claude. And here's what Claude's really good at, and then I'll get off this call. I'll say, this is a business plan that I wrote with someone else, but I need you to write it very clearly into an execution plan I can hand off to my team. And I use Opus 4.5 for this. And normally back here, I would have ran this using the thinking model of Google, and it would have given me a little more. But here, this is going to take off now and write a complete handoff plan. And it's going to be extensive. This thing will be 15 to 20 pages long with everything in it you ever need to sit down and pass this out at a meeting and say, okay, this is what we're doing. These are our strategies. This is how we're going to do it. Yada, yada, yada. Does that help anybody?
Helps me. That's perfect.
Cool, Jim. I hope that's
Thank
good.
you, brother.
Thank you. So these are the kind of things that I do when I'm planning for my year. And we talk about year-end planning again. I don't know if we're doing another AI Morning Club next Monday or not. Are we, Trisha? Do you know?
Yes, we're doing it next week.
We are?
Morning. Let me check.
Okay, wonderful. I think I heard you say yes.
Yes, we have
Okay.
AM Morning
Cool,
Club
cool,
next.
cool. Next 2 Mondays. All right, great. Well, so if you guys want me to talk about this more next Monday, we can. If you've got some of these that you come up with, you want to know feedback on, this is your time. This is your time. I'm going to send you this, Jim. If you want it, let me see. And I'll share it with everyone, and then everybody can go in your business, Jim. It'd be great. Um, Jim, you know what's cool about Jim? He already knows you guys aren't going to do that. So he doesn't mind sharing because most people don't take action.
And there's plenty of room for more than one of
Right.
us. So.
Create a doc for you.
Hey, next week I'll send you a tool that makes this a lot easier, by the way.
All right. So I like going through this a little more manually. I'm sure that I want to hear what you got, but I really like to see how I'm learning more and more how these bots are thinking by going through different versions of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm talking more about the copying and pasting and all that crap, the
Yeah.
mundane stuff. Now your bots are perfect. I got no complaints about those for sure.
Yeah. But I like to see how they think. There you go. And then I'll pop this into here. And you guys can see that. Make a copy of it. So, well, I hope this morning was good for you. I got a back-to-back call this morning. Usually I can stay on and we go over because I've got, I'm long-winded, I guess. But this morning I got to catch another call. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Do all your Christmas shopping, get it out of the way. But it's incredibly important that if you start planning in January, you're already a month behind. Yeah. I'm a huge believer in using December, especially the week after Christmas. You got nothing else to do usually. That week after Christmas, people usually leave you alone. You need to get your plans together so you can hit the ground running on January the 1st, because people will start making the bigger changes in their life in the first quarter of this year. And if you're coming to AI Bot Summit in the first week of January, you get to get ahead of everyone else in the first 5 days of the month for the whole year. You're wicked ahead of the game right at the first of the year. I think we want to continue doing this AI Bot Summit early January every year because it's such an advantage for anybody that goes to it. Because you're going to go there and see the smartest people around. You're going to see the smartest people around deliver the most cutting edge stuff in the world in the first 5 days of the year. If you don't think that's going to make a ginormous impact on your year, you're absolutely wrong. I see JoJo's got a question. I'm going to answer one, and then I got to roll. What you got, JoJo?
Are the answers from the $200 a month? What is it? Whatever you're using, Chat and Gem, or are
It
they
wouldn't
from
matter.
20 matters?
It wouldn't matter at all.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the $20 account's just as good. All the $200 account gives you, generally speaking, are more credits. So you'll be fine. I wouldn't spend that money unless you're a power
Thank you,
user.
sir.
Thank you.